Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about adult children of alcoholics and anger. The reason why I'm making this video is because anger is a very important aspect of the trajectory of being raised in an alcoholic home, and I want to go over what happens in an alcoholic home as far as anger, what happens with the relationship with anger for an adult child of an alcoholic parent, and all of the interrelated pieces that go together. Now, as you're watching this video, I want you to pay very close attention and think about, does this apply to me? So everything that I'm going to be talking about is based on research, and it's also based on my clients that I work with that are adult children of alcoholics and a lot of the patterns that I have personally noticed. I also talk about anger a lot in my upcoming book for adult children of alcoholics that also includes a lot of tools that you can use on yourself if you're an adult child of an alcoholic and you're struggling with some of these issues. So let's get started. What is it like to grow up in an alcoholic family, and what component does anger play in it? So one of the main reasons for alcoholism is denial of emotions. So the person who is an alcoholic, who is struggling with substance abuse, is frequently not able to tolerate their own emotions. Thus, they act out their emotions so that other people can feel the intensity of their emotions and pick up those emotions from the alcoholic. For the alcoholic, it temporarily makes them feel better, not just an alcoholic, but a person that is unable to tolerate their emotions and behaves in this acting out behavior. So frequently, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of aggression that is spilled out onto the child from the alcoholic. Additionally, if the family unit consists of an alcoholic, the codependent, which is the person who is not the alcoholic but is participating in the disease of the alcoholic, but vicariously through living life with the alcoholic and engaging in behavior such as taking care of the alcoholic and so forth, and the child. So the codependent obviously struggles with a lot of emotional ups and downs. It's very difficult living with an alcoholic. It's very difficult being in this environment. So naturally, the codependent is experiencing a lot of rage, a lot of problems with self-esteem, aggression that is then also unconsciously spilled out onto the children. If both parents are alcoholics, the children are experiencing a lot of anger because maybe the parents are not paying attention to the child. They're not getting the kind of love and affection that they want. They feel very trapped in the home. So in any of the configurations, the child is going to be the person who is receiving a lot of the anger and the aggression by the family, whether it's by the alcoholic, whether it's the co-acting codependent, or whether it's both parents that are alcoholics. Now, what happens is that the child usually does not have a healthy outlet to release aggression. Number one, because a healthy outlet for dealing with anger, releasing aggression is not modeled in the family. And two, when the child does speak up, they usually get punished, they usually get gaslit by the parents. When the child goes to school, two things can happen. Either the child begins to externalize the anger in school by maybe bullying other children, by maybe acting up in class, and that behavior thus gets punished by the school system, or the child starts to internalize the anger and direct the anger against themselves, which is basically depression. Depression is anger turned against the self. And thus, this unhealthy relationship with anger begins to unfold. Usually, the boys that are caught up in these family environments, they begin to externalize. Boys tend to externalize anger much more than the girls. The girls begin to internalize the anger. In this video, I'm going to continue on talking about internalized anger because it's very different than the externalized anger, and the trajectory of such is different as well. So, and I said boys and girls, but of course it varies. There are many boys that also internalize the anger, especially they're punished by the school system for externalizing the anger. They're punished by their parents, so they learn to internalize anger as well, and vice versa with the girls. So what happens to the child? The child begins to feel that anger is a terrible thing. Number one, they're experiencing a lot of pain from the anger that the parents exhibit, and they look at the parents and they think this is a horrible, horrible thing to be angry. Two, they're punished for their anger and they cannot express the anger, so the anger goes somewhere deep inside, internalized anger. And it becomes much easier for the child to think to themselves, I'm bad, develop a lot of melancholy, a lot of sadness, I'm flawed, I'm wrong, and that is anger directed against the self. And so then there's shame attached to it and all kinds of difficult emotions. So anger begins to get internalized. As the adult grows up, as the child turns into an adult, what we see is frequently the inability to understand when other people are directing anger and aggression at them, at the adult that has already grown. So because the child had to take in and absorb so much anger, it's kind of like they're used to it. So they have a really bad compass for the outside world, for outer, the outside people, that they have a really difficult time understanding when other people are directing aggression towards them, when they're angry at them, when other people are acting out, when other people are infusing their negative emotions onto the person. The adult children of alcoholics usually have a very, very bad compass for that, because they already built these strategies to repress this anger. So let's go into what is anger and why do we need it in the first place. Anger is a very normal and highly useful emotion that tells you what is going on in your environment, what is happening in your environment right now. And that emotion is powerful, and it is meant to be used for us to create decisions and to use the knowledge that we generate from the environment to do things such as set boundaries, maybe to not interact with people that continuously disrupt their boundaries, to not interact with people that disrespect us, to not interact with people that just for some reason don't make us feel very good. Anger is a compass that is supposed to tell you that maybe you're not treated very fairly. Maybe you're not treated very fairly at work. Maybe you have become a scapegoat. Maybe you're not treated very fairly by your partner. Maybe you're not treated very fairly. But the more your anger is repressed, and the more you are unable to tell the difference in the animal world, people are going to spot it, and they are actually going to continuously make you more of a scapegoat and know that they can treat you unfairly. So the more you're able to take on for yourself, the more you are going to get. Anger in a healthy form is represented as assertion. A person that is assertive understands their anger. So they pick up their anger in real time, and they right away make an assertion, and they right away can make a change in their environment, They can tell people, don't treat me like this, right? In a healthy, communicative way. So people that are assertive, people that are able to give directions to other people that are able to tell other people how they want to be treated are assertive. And the flip side of that is anger, because they have a healthy relationship with their anger. Now, the people that don't have a healthy relationship with their anger, they cannot feel it. They cannot connect with it. Therefore, they're unable to be assertive, unable to set boundaries, unable to use that anger, that aggression in a positive way that creates positive relationships for all parties. And so what happens is, even though the person is unable to detect the anger in real time, your body can still feel it. Your body is much smarter than you, and it's going to be giving you clues. Now, with the adult child of an alcoholic, anger becomes misattributed and frequently turns into rage. So the mechanism of that is the person is experiencing anger, unable to assert themselves, unable to establish boundaries, unable to accurately gauge what is happening in the environment. The anger seeps into their body, seeps into the being, gets turned against yourself, against themselves, in a way of low self-esteem, negative self-thoughts, obsessive compulsive kind of behavior, melancholy, sleeping a lot, things like that, sadness, wanting to recluse from the world, and the person has no idea why this is happening. And it's usually because of internalized anger that you're picking up from the environment, anger that you're not able to bounce back from you through assertion. So then this anger begins to get seeped into the body, begins to get seeped into the mind. It has a trajectory of all sorts of negative outcomes, some negative behaviors, and it turns into this mush. But eventually, it turns into rage, uncontrollable rage. There's only so much that you can keep within yourself. There's only so much that you can internalize. Only so many negative thoughts that you can have about yourself. Only so much you can sort of put yourself down and let people, take a ride on your back. Eventually, it's going to turn into rage. Now, that rage is going to be perceived as crazy. And it is not going to be productive. So the person that is internalizing a lot of this anger at one point will blow up over something that seems absolutely irrelevant, and will express all this anger in a way that is not going to establish any productive relationship value. That rage is not going to do anything good for whatever is happening in the environment, for whatever is happening in the relationship to flourish. Another thing that this can result in is making impulsive decisions, such as quitting a job without having anything lined up, because you just already get so worked up, understandably so, living with so much negativity, that these kind of impulsive decisions are made. And so this anger that turns into rage becomes unproductive. The partners of adult children of alcoholics frequently complain, that their partners are always angry, always angry, always angry. Now you ask the partner, the actual adult child of an alcoholic, and they think, I'm not an angry person at all. I don't experience anger. I don't feel it. I sometimes get so mad that I burst out or I yell. And that is because that alignment with anger, that healthy relationship with anger, where the anger informs you, you can feel it and you can respond to it in the environment in real time in a way that is healthy, productive, conducive to healthy relationships, isn't happening. That compass is off. The compass is missing. So that is the trajectory. That is the what I find to be the trajectory and the component of anger in the life of the adult child of an alcoholic, of the child of an alcoholic, the progression of, the relationship of this emotion. And I'm talking about internalized anger in this video, as I mentioned, because externalized anger has a different progression. So I'll talk about that in my other video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I also will be releasing my book very soon, and I'm going to let you know about it. It's an 8-chapter book that goes into information about what happens in an alcoholic family system, tips and tools for adult children of alcoholics, various emotions, attachment styles, and it also has worksheets, most importantly. So it's a no-nonsense approach. You read the information and then you follow the worksheets to actually create a change and to help rewire your brain, to help you connect with your emotions better, to help you go back into your past and figure out what happened to you, how it's affecting you right now. So I'm going to update you for when that book is released. I hope you'll find it helpful. Also, check out my class for adult children of alcoholics. It's also an 8-week course that explains what happens in an alcoholic family system, also has a lot of worksheets. And if you are interested in having a coaching session with me, having ongoing coaching sessions with me, the link is below. You can schedule the time through that link. And I hope you found this video useful. Once again, make sure to comment. Let me know, is this the case for you? If you're an adult child of an alcoholic or an otherwise dysfunctional household, is this true for you? Why or why not? Have you witnessed the same kind of relationship with anger that I have expressed in this video? I would love to hear it, because it's obviously a general video and everybody's individual. And I hope you are going to have a great week. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my upcoming videos.